January 24, 1556. Night falls on the private library of the Mughal Emperor Humayun. He's descending the steep stone stairs, his arms full of books. Suddenly, he stumbles. The books go flying. His body tumbles down the hard steps, a sickening crack as his head hits the marble. This is the official story. An accident. 3 days later, surrounded by his weeping son, the young Akbar, and the royal court, Emperor Humayun dies. Case closed. A tragic accident. But was it? Because the more you look at this story, the less sense it makes. The official Mughal chronicles, written by court historians like Abul Fazl, all say the same thing. Humayun fell accidentally. Abul Fazl wrote, while descending the stairs of his library, the emperor's foot caught in his robe. He fell. His head struck the stairs. He died 3 days later. Simple, clean. But here's the problem. Humayun had worn long, elaborate robes his entire life. He'd climbed those exact stairs daily for months. This is a man who survived 15 years in exile, countless wars, betrayals, and even assassination attempts. But a simple set of stairs killed him. It seems unlikely. Let's do what they didn't do then. Examine the witnesses. The first servant to find him claimed he heard a crash, ran to the library, and found the emperor alone at the bottom of the stairs. But another servant told a different story. He said he was in a nearby corridor, heard voices, then a crash. And when he entered the library, he saw 2 figures leaving through a side entrance. Alone, or 2 figures. The stories already don't match. Then there was the library guard who claimed he heard nothing unusual at his post. Nothing. When the emperor fell down a flight of stone stairs. And what's more suspicious is that within 2 weeks of Humayun's death, 3 servants who were in the palace that night vanished without a trace. Convenient and... Then there's the crime scene itself, the stairs. In any modern investigation, the scene is preserved, examined, documented. But here, within 1 week of Humayun's death, the entire staircase was torn out and completely rebuilt. Why the rush? Even his own 13-year-old son Akbar was told to stop asking questions. His advisor, Bairam Khan, told him, "Your father fell. It was tragic. Moving forward is what matters now." Even the emperor's son wasn't allowed to ask questions. For 400 years, the official story stood. Until researchers in the 1950s discovered the private notes of Humayun's own physician. The entry was explosive. The emperor's injuries, he wrote, are inconsistent with a simple fall. He went on. The fracture pattern suggests impact from behind. The bruising on his shoulders. Someone pushed, and then the entry ends. The next pages were torn out. The rest of the medical records are missing, and the physician who wrote this. He died suddenly of an unexplained illness just 6 months later. A pattern seems to be emerging. So if Humayun was murdered, who did it? Suspect 1, Bairam Khan. Humayun's most trusted general and the regent appointed to guide young Akbar. With Humayun alive, Bairam Khan was just a general. With Humayun dead and a 13-year-old on the throne, Bairam Khan became the true ruler of the empire for the next 4 years. His motive? Power. Suspect 2, Maham Anga, Akbar's ambitious and ruthless wet nurse. Humayun was starting to take over Akbar's training personally, which meant her influence over the future emperor was fading. We know she had poisoned rivals before. Her motive? To preserve her power over the one person who mattered. Akbar. Suspect 3, the defeated Afghan nobles. Humayun had just reconquered India from them. They submitted in public, but plotted in private. Revenge is a powerful motive, especially for a noble named Tatar Khan, whose son Humayun had executed just 2 weeks before his death. He had palace connections and a burning desire for vengeance. Whether it was an accident or murder, what happened next is clear. A cover-up. The most powerful figures in the court, Bairam Khan and Maham Anga, agreed that the empire was too fragile. Any hint of assassination could trigger chaos and rebellion. So the official story was decided. The emperor fell. Tragic accident. Witnesses disappeared. Evidence was destroyed. Questions were forbidden. Years later, when Akbar had absolute power, he could have investigated his father's death. He chose not to. Perhaps because he feared what he might find. Modern historians and forensic experts have re-examined the case. They agree the injury descriptions don't fit a simple fall. The contradictory witness statements suggest a cover-up. The immediate destruction of evidence is a huge red flag. But they all reach the same conclusion. We'll never know for certain. Too much was deliberately lost. So we're left with theories. Theory 1. A pure accident. Humayun was known for his bad luck. Maybe he was distracted. His foot caught in his robe, and he fell. Theory 2. An opportunistic murder. He started to fall, and someone who was their arrival, a servant, gave him a push to make sure the fall was fatal. Theory 3. Premeditated assassination. A planned hit made to look like an accident. The stairs were sabotaged, an assassin waited, and the witnesses were silenced. This best explains the cover-up. Today, Humayun rests in a magnificent tomb in Delhi, a beautiful monument built by his grieving widow. But the tomb keeps its secrets. For nearly 500 years, historians have debated. Was it an accident, murder, or a conspiracy? The truth was buried with him. Even his own son never knew what really happened that night on the library stairs. Was Humayun just unlucky to the very end? Or was he the victim of the perfect murder? It's a mystery we may never solve. Thanks for watching.